And we're back again, diving into some more cribbage. Let's see who we get today. Okay, so it looks like we've got Ran, and we start off with a flush. Real nice. We've got a magic 11, which we hit. Opponent starts off with 16, I think, or was it less? Yeah, pretty big. And this is an old ace 5 here, the double runs too good, and we hit the 8 on top as well. Very nice. Oh, and a big crib for our opponent. We go 7-9 in the crib here. We get a lot of 31s. And we triple our aces, which is good. Make it to 44. And here we have some option. We can go 2 king, 8 king or 2 8. I think I like 8 king here. We'll go 17. If they play the 3, then we have the 4. And they have a lot of aces now. Yeah, because they've got 6-8 ace. So far this has been quite a high scoring game. Opponents, if they continue, is looking to get to 70. Let's see if we can slow them down with a lot of different values on the play. 6-7 I think was also fine to put away. We'll go 25. Expecting a 3 here, otherwise they don't have much. They've got 8 points. And here, what do we do? Ace 3 is actually worth not very much in the crib, but instead, just to be even safer, I think I'll go ace 6. Okay, we'll start off with the 3. Now we'll jump to 16. And we'll see if they've got an ace, which they do. But we expect a 2, something like that, yeah. So they only have 5 points in hand. Sorry, 7, because ace 1 to 5 adds to 15. I don't want to throw away 7 king, so we'll throw away 7-7. We have 6 points in hand, we get the 31, which is nice. They have 999 for 6 points. And a couple of aces, so our 7s are worth a lot. And this is a very simple 8 king. 8-10 would give away too many runs. And on the play, oh, we're going to get 7, aren't we? Oh, well. 8852. Okay. So they've got 12 points, taking them to 103. That's kind of scary. But the crib was alright. This looks like Jack Queen. Are there any other options? Oh, we like having a 4 to play. Oh dear. This 5 is not actually very good. We might have just lost. Okay, we're going to go 8 for 29 because they showed a 4. Five, 6, 7. Yeah, that's a good game. Oh no, they did. I thought they had 14. Why did I think they had 14? Well, they need to get 2 points on the play. And we need to get at least 11 points. That looks very unlikely. But if we're going to make it, then we need to make it with... Oh, there was a jack on top. How did we do? Well, we got quite a lot of points on the play. We lost out a few points in the hand and in the crib. I think overall that was quite good. I'm going to recap the game and come back with what we need to improve. Okay, so we're jumping back in, and today I thought we would pick out this particular moment. This was actually not a discard decision, but actually on the play. In this position, we were keeping 4, 8, 9, 9. The scores are 107, 102. We're quite a bit behind. Well, we're quite a bit behind once we revealed the 5 on the play. Why is that? Because the 5 really gives most hands a lot more, a lot higher points. So there's a good chance here that our opponent's hand's now worth 8 to 14, 8 to, I don't know, 12 points. And what we need to do is we need to work out which hands we can really beat and which hands we just give up against. And in this position, when our opponent goes 10 and then 7, both spades, we get the feeling that there's still a chance. Our opponent didn't go 10-10. Now, in the game, I said something like our opponent has a 4, which is a mistake that I seem to make quite a lot, which is I miss which cards are being played by which players on the play. So here, of course, our opponent's played 10 and 7. We can see things nice and slowly and understand that. So here, we're not worried about our opponent really having an ace. If they had an ace, they would have played it instead of the 7 to get 15. And so I should be much more inclined to play the 9 here, taking us up to 30. And we have 2 different values. We have an 8 and a 9, and that should be easier for us to play on the next round. Because if our opponent leads a 6, we can play a 9. Though, yeah, we can do that, especially if it's the 6 of spades. If they lead the 6 of spades, then we can play the 9 of hearts. And we think that, well, in that position, so what could our opponent's final 2 cards be? If they're 8 and 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's worth 8 points. If it's It can't be a flush though, because we hold the 9 of spades. And are we worried too much about 9 points? Oh, 8 points, sorry, from our opponent? Well, it takes them to 115, and that is, it's scary, but I think it's fine. But that's the thing, if they lead a 6, and we play a 9, and they have... Wait, what am I chatting about? If they have a 6, then they can't have 7, 8, 9. So if they lead a 9 next time, we can definitely pair it. If they have a 6, then what are we scared about? Maybe we're scared of 6, 7, 8, 10 in their hand, which is worth 8 points as well. The worst situation for getting points off the play would be if they led something like 6 and had 9 in hand, but then, and of course their hand's missing the 8 to make any real points. Perhaps we're most scared of them having more 10s because it combos with the 5. So in this case, we get something like, I don't know, 7, 10, 10, jack. I think what they actually had in the game was something like that. I think they had 2 jacks here. So if we skip ahead, so instead we played... Oh no, this is it. They had 5 and 6. So they got the double run, 5, 6, double 5, 6, 7, and with a 10 on top, gives them 12 points. And here our opponent plays well. They confidently lead the 5. And right. And so now that our opponent's on 119, they are within striking range. They only need 2 points, and that's very hard to play against. So this is an example of one of those hands that we almost always lose against in this situation. Or at least once the 5 comes up on top. If the 5 doesn't come up on top, then this hand is maybe worth 7 points instead. And that would take them to 116, which is... 114, which is much more manageable. So I think this is an interesting situation. 107, 102 away. Perhaps it's quite hard to stop our opponent from often reaching a score like 117, which is also a very scary score to be at. In that kind of situation, it's quite easy to keep a hand that plays very well, and from our point of view, our main goal is to keep a hand that is extremely flexible on the play to avoid our opponent from getting there. In the actual game, we didn't really score much in our hand and in the crib. We're only on 110, and so We really needed to, if we were going to win in this situation, we needed our opponent to get a terrible hand. In fact, they have to really score no additional points on the play, because dealer's always guaranteed 1 point on the play. But more than that, we needed to give ourselves a chance of getting 11 points over in this round, which we can't really do only on the play. We need to combo that with some cards. So the only things that make sense to me here are keeping the either 3-6-6, which is 4 points, or 2-3-10 jack. 2-3-10 jack is worth way more points, but 3-6-6 has the potential to go and give us more points with if we hit a 9, 3 or 6, of course. The only thing that's a little bit tricky about keeping 3-6-6 is that we don't really have any removal against 9s. So if we keep 3-6-6, then our opponent can have a lot of 9s in their hand, mostly coming from runs, say 7-8-9 kind of things. We only get really a bit of removal from our 6s, as in we remove a lot of the 6-9 combos that our opponent has in hand. So instead, going for 2-3-10 jack, what we're really trying to do here is we're trying to get either another 10 jack or a queen on top. That'll give us 8 or 9 points. In the best scenario, queen of clubs gives us 10 points. And then what we do is we need to score a couple of points on the play. Now, we're never really getting the dream of going 2, 10, 3 for 15. Our opponent's probably not keeping many 10s. And the reason why is because 10s play poorly. You can keep 1 10, but having 3 10s doesn't really give you many options for where you want to take the total. In our case, we should also think about that and maybe then lead the 10, but of course, if our opponent keeps a 5, it's game over. It's hard to believe, well, it's hard to really estimate your chances of winning just because we're at such low chances of winning. I don't know, is it a 1% chance to win? Is it a 0.1% chance to win? Do we win this 1 in 100 times? Potentially. And if we want to work that out, we have to think about what are the play lines that really get us there. And the answer is, I'm not sure. I suspect that there are way more 9s. No, sorry, there are way more queens, jacks, 10s on top of the deck than 9s. So I think 3-6-6 is worth it less in terms of points. But maybe it's a more unexpected hand, and that can be quite good for the play. Also, does ace help us there? an ace. Gives us 3, 5, 7. Points takes us to 17. Four as well, also 7 points. Gee, maybe 2, 3, 6, 6 is 2, 3, 6, 6 is something I'm coming around to now. Yeah, it has this unexpected factor on the play if we and we can start by leading a 6, which, okay, it loses to our opponent's 9s and 6s, but we can, since we're looking at very small chances to win, we can start assuming a lot about our opponent's hands. That's the nice thing about having low chance to win, is that you can say, we can just start assuming our opponent has no 9s, our opponent hands look like this and that. We just have to make sure that our opponent really does have those kinds of hands. And of course we can always assume that our opponent doesn't have a particular kind of value. So, and since we have 2 6s, it's very reasonable to assume they don't have any 6s. And yeah, we can assume that the top of the deck could be an ace or a 4, ace 4, 3, 6. So that's actually quite a lot of options. Or a 9, of course. 9s are also helpful. We start by leading a 6. We go, and then maybe I'll do this in the future, but we'd start to think about what kinds of cards would be led here. So, all right, there were 2 decisions. So let's finish up. So two decisions that I want to highlight here is playing the 9 and keeping aware of what cards have really been played by by which player on the play. And also, when you do this, it's good to keep a mental note of which cards are more and less likely for your opponent to have. So when our opponent played the 7, we should instantly think they don't have so many aces in hand. Okay. And then the second scenario is to realize that 2, 3, 6, 6 is a very relevant option in this situation, especially when we can start assuming a lot about our opponent's hands when we're trying to draw out as much winning potential as possible from our hands. Okay, that's everything I wanted to say today, so see you next time.